I still remember the way our eyes laughed that night, leaning back in his chair, like life had never been serious. I was sitting between him and Samir, listening to them talk about marriage as if it was a joke meant only for me. "Bro," our eyes said, grinning, "we found the perfect girl for you." I raised an eyebrow. "Another perfect one?" I asked. Samir snorted. "Perfect because she won't talk back," he said, laughing. I felt my smile freeze. "What do you mean?" "Silent girl," our eyes said. "Doesn't speak. Perfect for someone who's always complaining about loneliness." I laughed with them, even though my chest felt tight. "You're serious?" "Relax," Samir said. "It's just a setup. A joke." I had heard that word all my life, joke. Something people used when they didn't care enough to take me seriously. "What's her name?" I asked, trying to sound casual. "Zara," our eyes said. "Poor thing. She's quiet. Doesn't cause trouble." I didn't like the way he said that, but I was tired. Tired of empty rooms, tired of weddings I attended alone. What if I say yes? The room went quiet. Our eyes' laugh cut off too fast. Samir looked at him. "You're not serious," our eyes said. I shrugged. "Why not?" They laughed again, louder this time. I ignored the way my stomach twisted. 2 days later, I met Zara. She sat across from me, hands folded. "Hi," I said. She didn't speak. I waited, then added, "You don't have to." Her eyes lifted. They were steady, watching me like she was listening to everything I wasn't saying. I heard Ari's voice in my head, joking. I heard my own heart, beating hard. "I think," I said slowly, "we could try." She gave a small nod. Something shifted inside me. I told myself I was accepting a joke. I had no idea I was stepping into a truth that would cost me friends, but give me everything else. I stood up to leave, and Zara pushed a small paper toward me. I picked it up. It said, "Thank you for not laughing." My throat burned. "I'm not laughing," I said. Outside, Samir grabbed my arm. "You really mean this?" "Yes," I said. Our eyes forced a smile. "Just remember," he said, "we warned you." I walked away, my head loud with questions. I didn't know why their voices sounded afraid. All I knew was I wasn't alone in that moment. And for the first time, that felt dangerous. I told my mother that night. She looked at me for a long time. "Are you sure?" she asked. "No," I said. "But I want to be." She nodded. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. I heard laughter from years ago and felt it crack. I chose to step forward, not knowing I was walking away from everything I trusted. That night, I stopped being the punchline. I became the choice. And somewhere, without speaking, Zara had heard me clearly. I didn't know it yet, but their joke ended the moment I said yes. The rest was already moving toward me, quiet, heavy, and unchangeable. I closed my eyes and breathed, not knowing I had just accepted my first real decision as an adult. And nothing in my life would stay the same again. I met Zara again 2 days later, alone this time, in a quiet cafe near my house. She sat across from me, hands folded, eyes calm, like noise had never touched her. "Hi," I said, forcing a smile. She nodded. The silence stretched, uncomfortable at first, then strangely warm. I cleared my throat. "You don't talk much." Her lips pressed together, but her eyes answered, steady and sharp. "I mean," I said quickly, "you don't have to explain." She reached into her bag and took out a small notebook. She wrote slowly, then pushed it toward me. It said, "I listen more than people think." My chest tightened. "I believe that," I said. She watched me closely, like she was measuring my honesty. My phone buzzed. Zara's name flashed. I answered. Yes. So, he asked. Did you meet her again? Yes, I said. Samir's voice joined. And? Still silent. I frowned. She's right here. A pause. Relax, Zara said. We're just checking. Why do you sound nervous? I asked. He laughed too fast. Wedding stress, bro. I hung up and looked at Zara. They talk too much. Her eyes softened. She nodded once. Does it bother you? I asked. She wrote again. People reveal themselves when they laugh. I swallowed. I feel like I'm being pushed. She tilted her head. I don't know why I said yes so quickly, I admitted. She slid the notebook back. Because you're tired of being alone. That hit harder than any joke. At home, my mother watched me quietly while pouring tea. You met her again, she said. Yes. She's different, my mother said. You noticed? I asked. She smiled. I notice fear when people hide it. Something feels off, I said. Do you want to stop? She asked. I thought of Zara's eyes. No. The wedding date was fixed that night. Our eyes messaged, that was fast. Samir added, you sure? Yes, I typed. Minutes passed. No jokes. I met Zara once more before leaving. They seem scared, I said. She wrote, people panic when plans change. I exhaled. They planned wrong. She smiled, small but real. Walking home, doubt followed me like a shadow. I felt used, arranged, tested. But I also felt curious, awake. Zara wasn't weak. She was choosing silence. And somehow, that choice felt stronger than all their laughter. I mistook their panic for nerves. I mistook her quiet for fragility. Both mistakes would cost me. That night, I told myself this was normal. People get scared before weddings. Friends act strange. Silence doesn't mean danger. I believed it because I wanted peace. I didn't see the warning signs forming around me. I only saw a woman who listened. And two friends who suddenly couldn't laugh anymore. The date was set. The path was chosen. I stepped forward again, unaware the ground was already shifting. Her silence stayed with me, steady and loud. Their laughter faded, thin and afraid. I told myself everything would settle soon. I was wrong, but I didn't know it yet. I just kept walking, trusting the quiet more than the noise. That decision would define everything. I stood at the wedding stage with my hands slightly shaking, listening to whispers float around me like smoke. Is this really happening? Someone murmured. He actually agreed, another voice said. I looked at Zara beside me. She stood calm, eyes lowered, not trembling at all. Are you okay? I whispered. She nodded once. Our eyes avoided my eyes. Samir kept adjusting his collar. You look nervous, I said to them quietly. Samir forced a smile. Big day. Our eyes laughed, but it sounded hollow. Yeah, huge. The Nika words were spoken. Do you accept? The Imam asked me. I do, I said without hesitation. And you? Zara lifted her head and nodded firmly. It's done, someone whispered behind us. Applause followed, thin and uncertain. At home later, the house felt different. Not louder. Not brighter. Heavier. Real. Zara placed her bag down carefully. You can take the room, I said. She shook her head and wrote on her pad. We share. I swallowed. Okay. That night, we sat across from each other on the bed. I don't know how to do this, I said. She wrote, we learned slowly. I smiled. That sounds fair. Days passed. We spoke through notes, gestures, looks. She made tea exactly how I liked it without asking. I noticed everything. You're stronger than people think, I said one evening. She wrote, people think noise is strength. Our eyes stopped coming by. Samir's messages grew short. You guys disappeared, I texted. Busy, Samir replied. One night, I heard shouting outside. Rai's voice. Angry. Low. You promised, he said on the phone. I froze behind the door. She married him, he hissed. A pause. No, I didn't expect that. My chest tightened. What do you mean, clean, he snapped. Footsteps moved away. I returned inside slowly. Zara looked up, concerned. Everything okay? She wrote. I think so, I said, lying. She studied my face, then wrote, you heard something. Yes, I admitted. She wrote, truth comes late. That night, I lay awake beside my wife. My friends felt distant. My home felt steady. Something bad was moving closer. I just didn't know its name yet. Nita came in the afternoon, her face tight, eyes sharp like she was holding something back. I need to talk, she said. Zara looked at me, then nodded. Say it, I told Nita. She crossed her arms. She isn't mute. I felt my chest drop. What? She never was, Nita said. She stopped speaking. I turned to Zara. Why didn't you tell me? Zara's hands trembled as she picked up her notebook. Before she could write, Nita spoke again. Because silence kept her safe. Safe from who? I asked. Nita looked straight at me. From people you trust. The room felt smaller. That's not possible. You sure? She asked. Zara finally wrote, slow and careful. Some voices hurt more than fists. My head rang. Who hurt you? She couldn't write that. Nita exhaled. She froze after humiliation. Public jokes. Laughter she couldn't escape. I saw our eyes laughing in my memory. Samir nudging me. No, I whispered. Nita continued, she learned quiet keeps control. That night, I sat in a therapist's office with Zara beside me. Dr. Hina smiled gently. You can speak if you want. Zara looked down. I know you can, Dr. Hina said. I leaned forward. You don't have to for me. Zara spoke then, barely louder than breath. I choose when. My heart broke. Dr. Hina nodded. That's strength. Driving home, I couldn't breathe. She can talk, I said. Zara wrote, I protect myself. From them? I asked. She nodded. Anger crawled up my spine. I remembered our eyes saying, perfect girl. Samir laughing. I punched the steering wheel. They planned this. Zara wrote, they wanted shame. They wanted me to laugh, I said. They didn't expect marriage, she wrote. I laughed, sharp and bitter. They underestimated both of us. That night, I didn't sleep. I replayed jokes I ignored. Warnings I brushed away. My trust rotted into rage. They used you, I said. Zara wrote, they tried. My voice shook. I let it happen. She touched my hand. Her eyes said what words couldn't. The darkness inside me settled. This wasn't an accident. It was a plan. A setup meant to break me. They failed. But the truth hurt worse than betrayal. I wasn't a victim. I was their punchline. Until I chose not to be. Zara spoke to me that night when the house was quiet and the walls felt close. "I need to say something," she whispered. I froze. "You don't have to." "I want to," she said, voice shaking but firm. I sat beside her. "I'm listening." "My silence wasn't weakness," she said. "I know," I replied. "I was hiding," she continued. "From laughter. From being reduced." My eyes burned. "I'm sorry." She looked at me. "You didn't laugh." "I almost did," I admitted. "But you didn't," she said. "I broke then. I should have protected you sooner." "You are now," she said softly. "I promise I will," I said. "Always." She nodded, tears falling. "That's enough." The next day, Samir called. "People are talking," he said. "About what?" I asked. "You," he said. "Us." "I don't care," I replied. Our eyes texted later. "We need to fix this." "There's nothing to fix," I typed. His reply came fast. "You think you won?" "I'm not playing," I said aloud, though he couldn't hear. Rumors moved faster than truth. Deals fell apart. Names lost weight. I didn't chase explanations anymore. Mr. Qasim called me to his office. "You've been quiet," he said. "I've been focused," I replied. "That's better," he said. "Pain makes discipline." "I'm rebuilding," I told him. He nodded. "Then build clean." At home, Zara watched me work late. "You're different," she said one evening. "I stopped begging for respect," I said. She smiled. "I like this version." Samir showed up uninvited. "We didn't mean harm," he said. "You meant laughter," I replied. He looked down. "Our eyes is losing everything." "I didn't take it," I said. "But you triggered it," he said. "No," I corrected. "I survived it." He left without another word. That night, Zara sat close to me. "You're not angry," she said. "I am," I admitted. "But I won't live there." She rested her head on my shoulder. "I chose you because you stayed," she said. "I stayed because you're brave," I replied. She laughed quietly. That sound changed something in me. I stopped checking my phone. Stopped wondering what they were saying. Started planning what I would become. Mr. Qasim offered me a partnership. "You earned it," he said. At home, I told Zara. "I'm proud of you," she said. "I'm doing this for us," I replied. She held my hand. Love became my rebellion. Growth became my revenge. I didn't need apologies. I didn't need closure. I chose forward. And for the first time, that choice felt powerful. Our eyes showed up unannounced one evening, standing at my door like he still belonged there. "I came to check on you," he said. "I'm fine," I replied. He forced a smile. "You look tired." "I sleep well," I said. He glanced past me and saw Zara sitting calmly. "She doesn't talk much," he said lightly. "She listens enough," I replied. Samir stood behind him, eyes restless. "We're worried," Samir said. "About me?" I asked. "About everything," our eyes said. I stepped aside. "Say it clearly." Our eyes sighed. "People are misunderstanding things." "People misunderstand lies," I said. His jaw tightened. "That's harsh." "So was your joke," I replied. Samir flinched. "We never meant for it to go this far," Samir said. "You meant for me to laugh," I said. Our eyes shook his head. "You're overreacting." I smiled calmly. "You're underestimating me." Zara stood up and came beside me. She's fine, our eyes said quickly. I didn't ask, I replied. Samir rubbed his face. Everything's falling apart. You built it wrong, I said. Our eyes raised his voice. We were protecting you. From what? I asked. Silence answered. Zara looked at our eyes, unblinking. She knows, I said. Samir whispered, I didn't think she'd matter. That's the problem, I said. Our eyes scoffed. You think you're better now? No, I said. I think I'm awake. He laughed nervously. You won't survive alone. I'm not alone, I said. Zara's hand rested on my arm. Samir's voice cracked. People stopped answering my calls. I nodded. They listen now. Our eyes stepped closer. Fix this. I already did, I said. You ruined us, he snapped. You exposed yourselves, I replied. Zara spoke quietly, one clear word. Enough. Both of them froze. Samir stared. She spoke. Yes, I said. Our eyes backed away slightly. I don't hate you, I told them. Samir looked confused. Then why does this hurt? Because consequences don't need anger, I said. Our eyes swallowed. You planned this. No, I said. I endured it. They left without another word. Days later, invitations stopped reaching them. People avoided their names. I heard nothing directly. I didn't ask. At home, Zara said, You're calm. I don't need to prove anything, I replied. She nodded. My reflection looked different now. Not proud. Clear. I realized revenge didn't need noise. It needed patience. I didn't win. I simply stopped losing. Samir came alone this time, standing outside my door like he was afraid to knock. I don't expect forgiveness, he said as soon as I opened it. Then don't ask for it, I replied. He swallowed. I'm sorry. For what? I asked. For laughing, he said. For letting it happen. I nodded. Say it properly. I used you, he said. Yes, I replied. I watched our eyes destroy himself, Samir continued. And I did nothing. That was your choice, I said. He lowered his head. I lost everything anyway. I didn't take it, I reminded him. I know, he said. That's worse. Zara walked into the room and looked at him calmly. I hurt her, Samir said, voice breaking. Zara spoke, clear and steady. You laughed. He flinched. I won't forget that sound. Good, she said. Samir left without asking anything else. Our eyes never came. I heard things instead. Deals collapsing. Phones unanswered. People stepping away slowly. He tried to fight it, but control slipped through his hands. One evening, Zara stood on a small stage at the community center. I want to speak, she said into the microphone. My heart pounded. I stayed silent because silence felt safe, she said. People listened. I speak now because I choose myself. Applause filled the room. I wiped my eyes. At home later, my mother held my face. You've changed, she said. I grew, I replied. My father nodded. Pain taught you dignity. I didn't break, I said. You bent, my mother said. And returned stronger. Zara joined us. I found my voice, she said. You always had it, I told her. She smiled. That night, I sat alone and thought about everything. I thought about jokes that weren't harmless. Trust that wasn't earned. Love that arrived quietly. Pain shaped me, but it didn't own me. The past knocked sometimes. I stopped answering. Zara sat beside me. Do you regret anything? She asked. I regret staying silent too long, I said. She squeezed my hand. I don't regret you, she said. Neither do I replied. Samir faded into memory. Our eyes into consequence. I carried neither anymore. Regret screamed inside them. Peace settled inside me. I learned that closure doesn't come from apologies. It comes from becoming someone who no longer needs them. Our eyes asked to meet me at the old cafe where we grew up wasting hours. I just want to talk, he said on the phone. I'll listen, I replied. He arrived late, eyes red, hands shaking. You ruined everything, he said before sitting. I didn't touch anything, I said. You married her, he snapped. Yes, I said. You made me look cruel, he said. You made yourself cruel, I replied. He laughed bitterly. You think you're clean. I think I'm done, I said. He leaned forward. You used my mistake. You built it, I said calmly. Same cafe. Same table. Different truth. You could have walked away, he said. So could you, I replied. He slammed his hand down. Everyone left me. They followed honesty, I said. You planned this, he insisted. I survived it, I said. He rubbed his face. She was nothing. I stood up. Say that again. He froze. Zara stepped beside me, holding my hand. That's enough, she said quietly. Our eyes stared at her. She speaks now, he muttered. She always could, I said. His voice cracked. I was joking. You were hiding, I replied. He looked at me, desperate. Fix this. I don't fix broken morals, I said. You owe me, he said. I owed you trust, I said. You spent it. He stood, shaking. You think walking away makes you better? It makes me free, I replied. Zara squeezed my hand. That pressure grounded me. I don't need you to admit anything, I said. He scoffed. Then why come? To know I could leave, I said. I turned my back. He shouted my name. I didn't stop. Outside, the air felt lighter. Zara looked up at me. You okay? She asked. I am, I said. She smiled. We walked without speaking. Her hand stayed in mine. That silence felt earned. I realized something important then. Closure isn't someone crying. It's me choosing peace. I didn't need proof of his guilt. I lived through it. I didn't need apologies. I had growth. Behind me, our eyes stayed stuck. Ahead of me, life waited. Zara leaned into my shoulder. I chose you, she said. I choose us, I replied. That was the victory. Not revenge. Not regret. Peace. Zara spoke first that morning, clear and steady. I want breakfast, she said, smiling. I laughed. You finally used words freely. I waited until it mattered, she replied. I poured tea and handed her a cup. I've learned to listen, I said. You always did, she said, teasing. I shook my head. Not enough. I needed to hear the quiet. She leaned back. And now? Now I understand, I said. Silence isn't absence. It's presence in waiting. She wrote quickly in her notebook. You finally see me. I do, I said. She smiled. Then let's make today ordinary. I nodded. Ordinary feels good. We spent the morning quietly. Cooking, reading, exchanging small notes. I like this life, I said, pouring cereal. Me too, she replied. I watched her pour milk with precision, a tiny movement that felt intimate. I didn't know quiet could be this strong, I admitted. She laughed softly. Strength doesn't shout. The phone buzzed. Zara's name flashed. I ignored it. Zara noticed. You're calm. I learned to stop chasing shadows, I said. Even if they scream, she asked. Yes, I said. Later, we walked in the park. Do you regret anything? I asked. She shook her head. Not a moment. Only growth. I squeezed her hand. Neither do I. We watched children play. A couple passed, arguing loudly. I thought of Samir, our eyes, and the noise of betrayal. It felt distant now, harmless in memory. Do you feel free? She asked. I do, I said. And grateful. Not for pain, she clarified. For what pain taught me, I said. Not the suffering itself. She nodded. I feel the same. I watched her write a note. Life is ours now. Yes, I said aloud. We sat on a bench, side by side, hands touching, sharing no words. The silence was enough. I realized the truth of it. Betrayal led me here. To clarity. To someone who spoke with action more than words. To quiet victories, I said softly. She smiled. And to listening. I breathed in the air, steady and clear. The world hadn't changed. I had. And somehow, that was justice enough. No fists, no revenge, no shouting. Just life, lived fully, with her. I squeezed her hand again. Thank you, I whispered. For, she asked. For choosing me. And for showing me what silence truly means. She rested her head on my shoulder. I'll always speak for us, she said. I nodded, knowing I would always listen. We walked home together, quiet, strong, and finally free.